Hi, I'm Jen. I'm the owner of My Brooklyn Pilates, and this video today is going to be Kegels. And technically it's going to be like reverse Kegels, like the opposite of a Kegel. So our Kegel muscles, known as our pelvic floor, are at the very bottom of our pelvis. They help hold organs in place. They control what comes out of our body and when. Men and women both have pelvic floors. And it's like kind of like a trampoline or a hammock, and it moves. When we breathe, it kind of lifts and lowers like this, or looks kind of like a jellyfish. That's kind of what it looks like. And it connects from our pubic bone in the front to our sit bone. So if you're sitting and you rock side to side, you can feel those two little bony parts of your pelvis. And then your tailbone in the back, and it connects to those. So it's, like I said, like a trampoline, and those are the connection points. And it's a group of muscles, just like, our arms or our legs or anything else. And like any other muscle group, those muscles can get tight. They can be tight and weak, they can be tight and loose, and so therefore they can't really tighten anymore and they can't really loosen anymore. So one technique is to do release work. So we're going to do release, potentially could be massage depending on which prop you choose. You get to, pick how deep of a tissue massage you want this to be. So your first softest option is to sit on top of a pillow. So you can take a pillow, sitting cross-legged is a good option. Place it underneath you, get yourself comfy. Because the pillow is soft, it's going to kind of mold to your body. You can actually feel your pelvic floor between those bones, kind of just resting against the pillow. That's one option for our exercise today. You could go and have a little more contact with your pelvic floor and choose a larger bouncy ball. And these balls I just took from my son. These are his toys. And you could go and sit on this. You could either sit cross-legged and sit on top of it. Might be a little harder to balance in that way. That's an option where you can really feel the ball now is kind of pushing up against your pelvic floor, so you get a little bit of a massage, a little bit of pressure. You could also sit and kind of straddle it. That's another option too. So if you have a bigger bouncy ball, that's one thing you can do. And the ball is really between your pubic bone and your sit bones in the back and your tailbone way in the back and center. Another option, I grabbed a couple more balls to show you. So I have a little Nerf basketball. You could actually even go with a mini basketball, like a hard basketball. If you want a deep tissue massage, you're welcome to do that. Just a heads up. Whew, it's a little painful, especially the first time you do it. And I grabbed a little squishier, softer ball. So those are a few other options, just little mini balls you can go with. If you're going to go with one of those, you're going to sit cross-legged on top of it. Again, it's going right on your pelvic floor. And so you're just going to kind of like stay here. So if you're choosing one of the harder balls, you may even need to kind of prop yourself up on your fingers and stay there and hang out. So this is called a reverse Kegel. It's the opposite of a Kegel. We're not tightening the muscle, we're actually trying to relax the muscle group. And there's technically 3 layers of muscles. There's a lot of muscles involved in the pelvic floor. And so as you're sitting here, either on your pillow or on your bigger squishy ball or on one of the harder balls, or even just flat on the floor or sitting in a chair, you're trying to feel the sit bones move away from each other and the pubic bone move forward. So that kind of triangle of bones is trying to expand. So you're trying to feel that expand. If a pelvic floor specialist, say, imagine like a flower blossoming or blooming. That's another thought. So feeling that pelvic floor just open up wide, and if you are using one of the props, you're going to also feel the pressure of the prop up against that hammock or up against that trampoline, kind of pushing up against it, and you're just going to try to feel your pelvic floor spreading out over that prop or sinking down into the floor, into the pillow. And all you're going to do is stay here and breathe. And on every inhale and exhale, you're trying to relax. Now, naturally, on an exhale, the pelvic floor does tighten. So you might feel a little something on an exhale, but we're not going to purposely do a Kegel. So like I said, it's a reverse Kegel. And again, you may need to use your fingers to help prop yourself up for a moment. And just breathe. And relax. You can even close your eyes. And imagine that triangle of those bones, that triangle getting larger. In the hammock or trampoline, whatever you want it, the jellyfish that is your pelvic floor is just also spreading out and widening and hanging over, draping over whatever prop you're sitting on. And then open your eyes, come up off of whatever prop you're sitting on, and take a moment just to feel your sit bones So for me, I feel like they definitely feel wider. I feel like my brain can kind of connect to them better. I really feel them on the floor now. And I feel like my whole kind of pelvic floor has been spread out and it feels a little more relaxed, like I got a massage. So depending on the prop you use, you may feel the sensation more or less. But it's also good even if you use one of the softer props. It's great just to build a connection between your brain and your body. And no worries, next time we're gonna do some actual Kegels.